Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're glad to have you here. You'll see on your screen that your 4 Aspire Healthy Living Team coaches are here this evening, and we want to talk about a healthy fit mindset for week 5 as you're going through your program. We're going to talk about mind, body, spirit a little bit and just kind of share some of our own experiences with you tonight. So to kick us off, I am going to turn it over to Judy and have her give us our intro.
Okay, thanks, Karen. So tonight, as Karen said, we're going to be talking about the healthy fit mind. And the healthy fit mind is a really important piece because a lot of us can get stuck in this mindset that you will either move us forward or it can get us stuck, and it can prevent us from getting to the dreams that we have for ourselves. So tonight there's 3 topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the healthy fit mind. We're going to talk about the healthy fit body, and we're going to talk about the healthy fit spirit. So tonight you're going to just hear us kind of bantering back and forth. We're going to be talking about the topic, and we're giving you maybe some examples of things that we're thinking about related to the topic. But we're going to start out with the healthy fit mind. Now, the healthy fit mind is a really important piece because we utilize a program or some tools from a program called ULA. And ULA has this idea of having objections, of blockers and accelerators. And blockers are things that prevent you from moving forward. And I'm going to have Karen pull up the list that we're going to look at right now. So blockers are things that might be negative. They're negative habits and behaviors. They keep you stuck in your current life situation, and they keep you disconnected from that awesome relationship that you want to have, that success you want. And accelerators are the opposite of those things. They're positive habits and behaviors that will ignite your journey, and they'll instantly get you to the life that you have for your dreams, something that you are looking forward to. So as you can see on the left side of the page, we have the blockers of fear and guilt, anger, self-sabotage, laziness, envy, and focus. And the focus is more of the lack thereof or misdirected focus. And so these blockers cause us to stumble. So I'm going to use an example here, and this is maybe something that our group, the team here, will chime in on. But when we're in this program and we're trying to get a healthy fit lifestyle, and we're trying to lose weight and feel good, but yet there are things that come in that self-sabotage us. We do things sometimes that cause self-sabotage. Team, what are some of those things that are self-sabotagers for you guys?
Well, I'll start out. So I will tell you that, for instance, this is a blocker. So this is really more of an example, I guess. But what comes up in my mind when you're talking about this is somebody that, for example, is told that they are maybe as a child, just as a pet name, or just something that a parent or somebody in authority gives them. Maybe they call them and they tell them, they say, oh, you're accident prone. Well, they don't necessarily really believe they're accident prone as an adult, but that person assimilates that into their mind as a thought. And so they start to believe that they are accident prone. And that in life, now not necessarily maybe in a diet, but certainly it sets up that they don't want to fail. And so they have a fear sometimes of trying things because they're afraid that every time they do, that accident prone thought is going to come back up. And so they kind of sabotage themselves before they even start. And so when that happens, I think you have to, especially in your adult mind, you look at it and you say, you have to rethink that assumption. Is that an assumption that's real? Is that an assumption are you really accident prone? Do you have accidents all the time? Do you mess up everything every time you try something? Is it real? Is it true? Do people tell you all the time that, you're worthless or that you can't do anything or you're going to fail? Or, is it really just a misconception that you assimilated into your mind when you were younger, which really isn't a truth now? And so I think you have to sometimes go back and examine things, blockers that come up and as you grow personally and as you grow through this whole program, you're going to start to identify blockers. And that's what I think you need to step back and ask yourself, is this true? Is it real? Is this just a misconception that I have? Because once you can change that and realize that you are a person of integrity, you're not somebody that doesn't follow through with your word and things like that, then it becomes much easier for you to go beyond that blocker and use those accelerators like you talked about, Judy.
Yeah, I would agree that we want to make sure that we're not, providing that self-talk in our brain that's kind of setting us up for defeat from the beginning. And one of the things that if one of these blockers is actually something that you find yourself looking at all the time, like maybe you're a fearful person, or maybe you are constantly struggling with lack of focus and you can't kind of get your mind around a certain thing. What we want to encourage you to do is to look at the opposite, the accelerator, the word opposite of that. So if you are a fearful person, the opposite word of that would be gratitude. And so what we find is that those people that use gratitude or can turn their fear into gratitude. So maybe they're fearful about, I'm just going to use an example. They have a fear of, maybe being disliked or something. The whole idea of turning that fear into something you can be grateful for, like maybe they did something really, really amazing, and somebody honored them and said, "Oh, you just were you blessed me today. You just really were encouraging to me when I wasn't feeling that, encouraged." And you can focus on that that attitude of being that somebody had that was grateful to you. Or you can just think of something that you can be grateful for. That can easily turn that fear into something that is going to be very positive. And that's what we want to do, is we want to be able to take those things that block your ability to move forward. Because remember, these are things that are holding you back subconsciously. They're causing you to be stuck. And we don't want that negative head game going on in your mind to keep you stuck. You want to, to be pushing forward so that you're living the dreams that you want. You're wanting to lose weight. You're wanting to feel energized. You're wanting to take those steps that are going to get you to those dreams that you have. So that's the focus, and focusing on the things that are going to accelerate you to achieve that is where we want you to go. So this is just an example. You're going to get this as a document this week so that you can post this somewhere and look at the things that are blocking your ability to move forward, and then try to focus on the opposite, the accelerator that can actually make a big difference. And if you want more information on this particular document or this particular information, make sure you talk to your coach when you meet with them this week. Okay, so
Judy, let me say one more thing.
Yeah.
The thing about gratitude, that's a great place where I think in their journal, they've got a place to write down things that they're grateful for. And it's a great way that you subconsciously will overrule some of your fear blocker when you are doing that, even though you're not consciously aware of it when you're writing down things that you're grateful for. So there's a reason for that exercise.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, make sure you're going back and reviewing those things in your journal, because that's going to be a reminder of the things that, you know, you want to be focusing on. Okay, so the next topic that we want to hit is the healthy fit body. Now, that's what we've been working on for the last 3 weeks. You know, we've been working on low glycemic eating. We've been working on taking your supplements, and we've been working on fitness and exercise. So right now, we want to discuss these three, what we have called this last week, the trifecta. We want to discuss this and how we balance this in our own lives so that we see more energy, more success, and things that enable us to move forward. So what are some things that you guys are focusing on right now?
I just want to say that I really love Jim Rohn's quote. What did he say? Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And it's so sad when you watch people that have worked all their life and they finally get around to retirement and they haven't taken care of themselves and haven't taken care of their bodies. And they spend their retirement years now trying to take with all these illnesses and sicknesses that they're trying to deal with. And it shouldn't be like that. We need to take care of our bodies now while we're young or wherever you are. And, you know, get ahead of the game. And low glycemic eating, that's one of the healthiest ways that you can feed your body. And, you know, quality supplements, huge, but you can't forget that exercise. I have a hard time with that one because I don't like to sweat.
But you just walk so fast, Renee. You walk so fast, you get your exercise doing that.
I like walking in the wintertime because I don't sweat.
Well, that's a good tip, right? You know, if you don't like to sweat,
That's right.
that, you know, being outside in the cold is definitely going to be a positive.
Yep.
I'm going to bounce off of Renee because the founder of our company kind of mimics what Renee says, that he got into this because he was seeing people living too short and dying too long, which is exactly what Renee was talking about. You know, you're living life and maybe especially getting into the years of retirement, and now you have disease after disease after disease, and you want to be enjoying some time freedom because you're not having to go to the office every day and you're not feeling real well. So one of the things that I like to encourage people to think about is, of course, we really need to develop that healthy lifestyle where we're eating low glycemic so that we're keeping our blood sugar stable, so that we're not developing those diseases that are what Dr. Wenz also talks about, is diseases of lifestyle, right? They're eating the wrong foods. They're not taking care of themselves, and they're developing diabetes, and they're developing autoimmune issues and things that are making you feel really run down and worn out. And so one of the ways that we can combat that is by choosing low glycemic foods, which we've been working on teaching you guys all week and the last 3 weeks. And hopefully you're understanding more and more of what that looks like.
And feeling good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't want to spend all of your, like you said, your retirement years. You don't want to get there, and you'd like to be spending maybe any money that you've saved to enjoy those years, you know, traveling or going places, doing things you want to. And instead you're spending all of your finances on medical care because you are not very well at that point. So it's a good investment in your future to be, you know, eating right, exercising along the way, whatever that looks like, whether it's equipment that you have to buy, whether it's joining a gym, you know, whether it's just walking with a friend or something like that. But, you know, it's also investing. I mean, for me, it's investing in supplements. It's investing in, you know, eating whole foods that may be a little more expensive right now, but in the long run, I'd rather pay my money, pay my dues now than to pay them later and have a poor quality of life. So I look at it that way.
And don't
I
ever
agree.
think that it's too late to get involved in something. I've been a softball, basketball, volleyball player all along, and I know so many women my age have given up on, oh, I can't do that. You know, I'm too old to do that. I'm too old to do that. And last year I decided, you know, playing volleyball one night a week just really wasn't enough. I wasn't getting enough. And of course, through COVID, we got nothing because we had to stop all of that playing. And I decided last year I needed something else. So I took up tennis at the age of 64 and said, I'm just gonna do this. So, you know, it's never too late. You're never too old to get out there and do something. If you don't want to run around on a tennis court, try pickleball, try ping pong, you know, anything, you know, just really to get moving, something that energizes you. You know, they were talking about walking and going to the gym, and I hate both of those. I have to do something team wise. You know, I have to have 5 other people that are counting on me to be there, you know, on that volleyball court. Otherwise, you know, I can just become a couch potato and tied into my laptop, which is not a good thing. So it's not too late. Get out there and move.
That's
I
a
like
great
that
point.
illustration.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Like
love
that
that
makes
illustration because I always tell people, you know, I'm an aerobics instructor, and I always tell people that if I wasn't teaching, I probably wouldn't go, you
Mhm.
know, and it's just like, you got to figure out what's going to make you go. Right.
Right.
So if like the 5 people waiting on you is the thing that's going to motivate you, then put those things in place. Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that was a great discussion. So the third healthy fit mindset is the spirit. And this is a really important piece related to faith in something bigger than ourselves. And Lee's going to give us a definition of what we mean by that.
All right. So ULA, we've talked about ULA, and we like some of their philosophies. It's really a kind of a theory or a process to really help to provide balance in your life. And when you have balance, you know, it brings you joy and pleasure and health and a lot of things. So their definition, or one of the things they list about faith is understanding your place in this world is necessary for a life that is balanced and growing. And that's their quote. And so, you know, I mean, I really think that they're talking about something that would be anchored with. I think really in order to understand your place within that definition, what it says, you really have to have beliefs, you know, or a belief, you know, that anchors you, that anchors your life. You know, personally for me, you know, my anchor is Jesus Christ, but it doesn't, you know, that may not be yours, but you do need to find something that anchors you, that you can go back to, that gives you motivation, that gives you purpose, that it's something to, you know, put your anchor in, that gives you a solid foundation. And that's important. Whatever it is, you need to find that. And so I like that definition of faith that they give. It's kind of a general, or not really a definition, but that statement of faith, because I do think it really helps to explain how important, you know, the spirit of mind, body, spirit, how important that element. And I think it's one we overlook a lot of times, or we don't look into it deeply on a personal level.
Yeah, I agree. I think the spirit and just what motivates you a lot of times is a really important factor. And maybe, you know, food doesn't motivate you, exercise doesn't motivate you, but maybe your faith motivates you, or you're looking to a higher God for that motivation. You know, that may be the thing that drives you and enables you to go forward. And we're looking for this balance in all these areas of our life. And this, I think, is one of those areas that is so misunderstood, and like Lee said, is one of the areas that we just kind of bypass. But we want to make sure that it is an important aspect of anchoring you into the beliefs, into something that's bigger than yourself, that's going to motivate you to move forward, and is going to give you that hope and encouragement that will get you to where you want to go. Well, do we have any other feedback on anything that we've talked about? Any other ideas for tonight? Okay, well, we want to thank you for joining us, and we hope that this Healthy Fit Mindset gave you some things to think about. We want to remember that we have a healthy fit mind that we need to focus on. That's your blockers and accelerators. We have that healthy fit body, which is the nutrition, the healthy low glycemic eating, supplementation, and exercise. It's all part of what you've been working on for the past 3 weeks. And then, of course, the most important thing that I think motivates, hopefully, everybody to move forward is that healthy fit spirit that helps you and drives you to move in the direction that is going to give you a lot of hope and encouragement. So thanks for joining us. Have a good night. Bye.
I
Night, everyone.